Welcome to Movement and Function. I'm Beth Wagner. In today's video, I'm going to cover some information and exercises to address collapsed arches and bunions. A collapsed arch refers to the arch across the bottom of your foot when it has fallen in and become flat. Often this is related to pronation at the ankle, where the ankle is no longer in the middle, but has fallen or curved down and in. Oftentimes, when the arch collapses and when the ankle is pronated, it puts additional pressure on the base of the great toe, and that can cause a bony overgrowth that we refer to as a bunion. Typically, with time, the great toe starts to bend in towards the other toes, and that can be quite painful, quite uncomfortable. The first common cause of both collapsed arches and bunions is a tight calf muscle. And for that, I'm going to show you a calf stretch. We'll put one foot forward, one foot back. So in this example, I'm stretching the right calf. Make sure that your toes are pointed straight forward. Don't let your toe point out to the side. That will release the stretch and actually further encourage a collapsed arch and a pronated ankle. So be sure your toes are pointed straight forward. Now bend the left knee a little bit so that you're going into a lunge. Keep the right heel on the floor. You should feel a nice juicy stretch right through the calf, possibly down into the Achilles tendon, the lower part of the calf, where it attaches to your heel. Hold this for about 30 seconds. Then release your lunge, stand straight up, and bend to the right knee. Now keeping the knee bent, but your heel on the floor, now sink down into that a little bit farther, as far as you can go, maintaining your heel on the floor. My calves can be a little bit tight, so you'll see with me right now, if I tried to bend farther, my heel comes off the floor. So there's no point in going any farther. Just go as far as you can to where you feel a deep stretch in the calf, but your foot and your heel are staying on the floor. Again, hold for 30 seconds, and then come out of that stretch. Alternating with the knee straight and with the knee bent is a great way to get a robust, thorough stretch of all parts of the calf muscle. I want to show you an exercise called the tripod. The tripod refers to weight bearing evenly between a spot underneath the knuckle of your great toe, the knuckle underneath your fifth toe, and right underneath your heel. That forms a tripod. Oftentimes when there's pronation, the weight goes to the inner part of the foot. So when I allow my ankles to pronate, I feel most of the weight underneath the great toe and underneath my heel. I don't feel very much weight on the outer part of my foot. So this exercise is essentially to find the muscles in your body that allow you to shift your weight. So standing here, what I'm going to do is activate muscles in my hips. I'm going to tighten my butt, and I'm going to try and lift my arches and pull my weight out over the lateral part, the outer part of my foot. Now when I do that, I feel more weight on the outer part of my foot and my heel, and not very much on the inner part of my foot. So what I can do is just go back and forth and see how that feels to shift my weight in and out, in and out. So try this about 10 times. See if you can push down into the ground with your great toe without letting your ankle pronate again, without letting your arch fall. Now I feel like my tripod is even. I feel even weight underneath my great toe, my fifth toe, and my heel. But I'm working really hard to do this. Mostly I feel the activation in my hips. So activation of the hip muscles brings me to my third common cause of the collapsed arches and the bunions, which is actually weak hip muscles. Now I've already started to activate my muscles in my hips by doing this tripod activity, but I want to show you another great way to strengthen your hips in order to correct what's going on down at your feet. This exercise is going to be a squat with a band around your thighs. So I'm going to use this belt that came off of a dress. You could use a yoga strap, a rope, a bathrobe belt. You'll want to find a place to sit that's slightly elevated, maybe the end of the couch or your bed if it's real tall, or a tall stool, something sturdy but a bit elevated. Go ahead and wrap the strap around your thighs, just above your knees, at least, say 4 inches or so above your knees. Before you do the squat, make sure that your knees are about hips distance apart. You don't want to start the squat with your knees together. So separate your knees about hips distance, and then separate your feet about hips distance. You want to be in a straight line, hips, knees, ankles. Okay, so that will require me to press out a little bit against this band, and that's the purpose of this. Okay, use your hands if you need to go ahead and stand up. So keeping yourself in that position, try to keep your feet pointed straight forward if you can. Now, pressing out against the band, I'm going to squat back until my hips touch the surface, and then stand back up. Squat down and stand back up. Now, I should mention, also keep your core engaged. Draw your belly button in towards your spine and keep your glutes tight. Squeeze your buttocks as you're doing this. And press out against the band, squat back, touch, and stand back up. Try 10 repetitions of this squat. Nice and slow. You really want to feel the muscle activation with this. As you're doing it, you might also notice it feels different in your feet because as you press out with your hip muscles, that will help to elevate your arches and balance out your feet. Focus on that tripod, even weight bearing between the inside and outside of your foot and your heel. I hope you find these exercises helpful to relieve any pain or discomfort in your feet due to collapsed arches and bunions. I've shared a lot of information in this video, a bit of an anatomy lesson, as well as how mechanics work and how everything is connected between your feet and your hips. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel, and it's always great to see a thumbs up. Here's to your healing, health, and happiness. I hope you have a fantastic day.